What's up, Internet? My name is Michael Cook, this is Blue Giant Media, and we're here to connect through gaming. Today we're going to take a look at Wingspan by Elizabeth Hargrave, published by Stonemaier Games. We're going to set the game up in real time so you can get a feel for how long it actually takes to set the game up, and so maybe you can step along with me. Then we're going to go ahead and go through a couple rounds of play so you can get a feel for the rule set as well as just the overall flow of the game. So, without further ado, ready, set, play. Alright, Wingspan is getting an incredible amount of buzz, and we're going to go ahead and set it up for 2 players. We're going to set it up in real time so that you can get a feel for how long it actually takes to set the game up, and so you can step along if that's what you like to do. So we're going to start by just pulling some things out of the box. We are going to set up the dice tower, which I keep stored like this because it doesn't quite want to nest like that. Go ahead and set that to the side. Totally optional thing, but it looks nice. It's a good present. Alright, so we'll go ahead and set up for 2 players. Take all the dice. Go ahead and roll them there. The rest of these we can put back into the box. Leave the score pad set aside for now. Each player is going to get their own very nice player board here. We'll go ahead and set that there for you, and we'll set one over here for me, which I will also put so it's facing you. This one side is for a little bit of a friendlier setup, where you can kind of score bonuses and you can kind of both score well for them, whereas the other side, it's not that it's mean, it's just now it's only the person who has the most is going to get something. And also on this side, whatever the goal is, you score either 0 to 5 based off of how many of the things you satisfy here. Whereas on this side, if you have done one of them but the other person's done none, you go straight to the top and get full points. So we'll just go ahead and set it up with this side for now. Set these so that they are nearby each player. I always worry that popping these things open, I'm going to spill them everywhere. And success, we did not make a gigantic mess. Alright, we will go ahead now and put these out on the board. Okay, open this up. I'm going to take these different gold tokens. They are double-sided, and there are, 8 of them? Yeah. So I just usually basically shake them up, take one out, flip it in the air. That's just how I'm doing it. But that way I get a random spread. Put the rest back. Alright, first player token. We'll just go ahead and put that over there with you for now. Each player is going to then get 5 cards and 5 food, one of each type. These cards are for the automa if you're playing single player, so we can leave those in there for now. Then these are the different goal cards. You'll have these shuffled. You'll give each player 2 of them. Actually, no, we're not going to put those back because you can draw more of them through the game. So now we're ready to pop this top back on. Actually, I can put that in there too. Alright, we'll go ahead and say that these are shuffled. I don't want to take the time to shuffle them all right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you'll put out 1, 2, 3. And there we go. And each player is going to get 1 of each kind of food. There we go. Now, each player is going to look at their cards. So you're going to look at the birds that you have. You're going to look at the goals that you have, and you're going to keep one of the goals, and then you are going to keep a total of 5 between these two. You're going to choose, possibly 3 of these and 2 of these, or 1 of these and 4 of these, or 1 of these and 4 of these, but you're going to keep a total of 5 of these things. So you can take a lot of these things into account. Like this one, we've got cartographer, so you score extra points at the end of the game for birds with geography terms in their name. Or the other one says birds worth less than 4 points. So up here, this is the symbol for how many points they're worth. This one's worth 3, this one's worth 5, 1, 4, 3. So you have 3 different birds that are worth less than. Now, the other thing you can look at is the goals that are coming up. This one, you score points for birds in the forest. All 3 of these go in the forest. This one right here scores birds with that kind of nest, which is shown here, that have eggs in them. Well, you already have 1 of those, so you're set up pretty well with these 3. So I think that right off the bat, it looks like we probably want to keep these 3 birds, and we're going to keep the backyard birder, because we're going to go for some of the small birds. So we kept 3 birds, which means we keep 2 food. Now here we can see where the birds can live, but we also can see what they need to eat. So we need to, that lets us know what food we want to keep so that we can lure the bird out so that we can observe it. You also get to look at the abilities they have. So you'll see that some birds, and we'll go ahead and look at some of mine while I make my decision over here. Okay, first I'll take a look at, I have birds with a hunting power are worth 2 points per bird. Birds that eat fish, I can score points for having more of them. The other thing you'll see is at the bottom here, it shows you how many of them there are in the game. It says 42% of cards in the game are going to have be worth less than 4 points. So you can kind of look at that and see. But you'll see the cards that have the brownish band, that's a when activated ability, which I'll get to how activations work. The other ones, like this, not score, but they do something when you play them. There's also some that are pink right here, which that shows that it's going to do something when your opponents satisfy the condition on that card. So if I kept this one, I want birds that hunt, which is what this ability is. None of these have that. This one says birds that eat fish. Right now, I have 1 that does that. So right now, none of these looks particularly good to me. But I think that as the game goes on, it shouldn't be too hard to at least get a couple of these. I'm maybe not going to make this a priority, but all I need to do is get 1 other bird that has fish in order to score at least 3 bonus points for this. So we'll go ahead and keep that one. And we're also going to look at the abilities of these. So this one says when I play it, I get to draw 2 bonus cards and keep 1. So this one will let me get more bonus cards out there. This one says play a second bird into your grassland, paying its normal cost, so it allows you to play 2 birds in 1 turn. This one says when played, draw birds equal to the number of players plus 1, and then you basically draft them around the circle. This one, when activated, discard a food to tuck 2 birds from the deck behind this bird. And so cards that are tucked behind them are worth points at the end of the game. Each card that's tucked behind them, or each food that's token that's on the bird, if the cards say to do that, are worth points. This one then says draw 2 if you do discard 1 from your hand at the end of your turn. So both of these, this one allows me to get some birds in hand. That's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep these 2 birds because this one's going to allow me to get more birds. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and do that. And we're going to keep the fishery manager. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and keep that to the side, keep that to the side. Now you are going to be the first player. So the things that you can do on your turn are, you're going to take one of these cubes for every action that you're going to choose, and you're going to use it to mark what you're doing. First thing that you can do is right here at the top, it says play a bird. So if you want to do that, you just go ahead and mark that that's what you're doing, and you are going to pay the cost in food to lure that bird to its habitat. So for instance, this one, oh, we are not quite ready yet. Real quick, 3 birds here means you keep 2 food. Let's think about what we might want to play first. Let's see, this one is pretty good. I want to get hunting early, so I do want to keep a mouse. This one right here is just easy to get out there, so we'll go ahead and keep that. That way we can play birds relatively quickly. All right, we'll put the rest of the food back. Over here, I kept 2 birds, so I want to keep something to be able to get that one out, and then make some progress towards getting the other one out. All right, put those back. So, as I was saying, play a bird. So I could pay 1 grub to bring this bird out, and then this tells you where it lives. This tells you how many points it's worth at the end of the game. This tells you what kind of nest it has. This tells you how many eggs it can hold in its nest, what kind of ability it has, its wingspan, its name, and then this is just some kind of fun facts. The stuff at the bottom, actually, I don't believe any of them actually pertain to goals or anything like that. This is the only part of the card that's actually just for fun. So, for instance, I could go ahead and pay 1 grub to go ahead and play that bird, but I think I'm actually going to go ahead and pay the mouse, because I did say I want to have that card out there first, so that whenever I take the action, I get to do its ability. So whenever you're playing a bird, it says right here that you can pay 2 of any food to count as 1 of any food. So if you're limited, but you've got some extras, you can overpay to get the food that you need. So now let's go down here, and we're gonna go ahead and start with, we're gonna go ahead and put a bird out too. But you know what I actually think I'm gonna do? No, I'll go ahead and pay the 1 grub to put this bird out. So I'll mark that I played a bird as well. Now we'll go over here and let's talk about some of the other actions that we can do. This one right here, we're going to go ahead and do. Whenever you're taking one of these 3 actions, you are going to mark, you're going to start with the leftmost space that is available, that is open. So in this case, it would be either this one, or this one. If I go here, which is what I'm going to do, I'm going to take 2 eggs, and I get to place them on birds that I have. It just so happens that this bird can only hold 2 eggs in its nest. Then, if there were any cards in the line, you're going to go down them, like if I had started here, you could do this action, then I go down the line, and you do the when activated effect of each bird that you get to until you get to the beginning. So here, I'm just going to take the 2 eggs and move over here. That's what I did. Then I'm going to come over here. I am going to get some... Tricky. I got to do a lot to get this bird out. It's going to be a lot of work, so what I'm actually going to do first is go here, and I'm going to get a bird card. Now I can choose one of the ones here that's face up, so I could look, for instance, here, maybe I want to get a bird that lives in the forest because that's going to be what scores at the beginning. Maybe I want to try and find birds that eat fish. Well, none of those eat fish, so I could draw from the top of the deck. That's a possibility. But this one is... all of these are a little bit on the expensive side, too. They all cost more than 1 food. This one gives food every time it's activated. This one's just worth a lot of points. So you can see there's a lot of things that you might want to weigh. This one right here, I can have a little bit more flexibility, possibly. But I think what I'm just going to do is draw... well, this one's worth a lot. See, you can already see the decisions. I think I want to get this one just... it's worth points, but this one lets me get more food as the game goes on. So I'll go ahead and take this one. And this does not fill until the end of the round, though, which that bothers me a little bit. And so here you can also see I could, if I had any, pay an egg to draw another card. But I'm going to go down the line here and activate all the birds in order. So this one says, when activated, draw 2 cards. And if you do, discard 1 from your hand. And that can be from any of these. So, of all of these in my hand now, I choose 1 to discard. Wow, that's an expensive bird. So, I'm just going to go ahead and discard that one. And then, there we are to finish. Now that my turn is over, now we refill. So over here, now we're going to come back and talk about playing birds in subsequent columns. Because right here, you can see to play a bird in the second column, you're going to also have to pay an egg in addition to the food. You got to hatch that bird. So here, I'm going to have to pay 1 food and 1 egg in order to lure and hatch the blue-gray gnatcatcher. And that's going to go right there. So now I've already got 2 birds in the forest. Hooray! Okay, over here now, I need some food. So I'm going to come up here. So when you take the food action, you get to choose any die that's in the bird feeder. If the bird feeder shows only 1 type of food, even if all 5 dice showed the same food, it has to be the same face. Then you can choose to re-roll all of them. So if it was down to this, and I didn't want that, I could take them all and roll them instead of being forced to take the 1 food. What I need, though, if I do want to play that... Oh, now I'm feeling like I might want to jump ahead and do this, because I want to get a bird, at least 1 in the forest. It's tough. But I think I will just go ahead and take this one. So when you take this, it's not take both, it's take 1 or the other. So I'm going to take a grub. And I don't get to activate any extra bonuses. Now we'll come over here. This player needs some food. So we're going to go here so that we can get 2 food. Now we're going to need some wheat or grain. Unfortunately, though, there is not another grain or grubs here, so we just have to take 1 of these. So we'll go ahead and we'll take the mouse, because we're going to kind of hope to get some more hunting, possibly. So that's what we're going to just hope for. All right, now we're going to go down the... Oh, sorry. Yeah, so we did those 2 food. Now we're going to go down the line. Right here, we just get to gain a grub. Whoop. And then over here, it says, when activated, look at a card from the deck. If its wingspan is less than 75 meters, tuck it under the card. So if its wingspan is less than 75 centimeters, sorry, meters, 75 centimeters, which is smaller than this bird, then this bird is able to take it. It hunts it. So right here we drew a little red-breasted nuthatch, which is only 23 centimeters, and the poor thing has been taken. It has been eaten by the Cooper's hawk. So we'll go ahead and tuck that under there. That is going to be worth 1 point at the end of the game. So as you can see, every time I get food, now I'm going to get more food, and I have the chance to score an extra point. So now this action gets more and more attractive, not just because it gets more powerful, but because it gives me more stuff. Okay, so now we're going to come over here. I really probably should have done that. So actually what I'm going to do is play a bird. I will go here. I'm going to pay these 2 so that I can get another bird out there, so that at least 1 more of my actions gets a little bit stronger. All right, then we'll come over here. This player will then... See, they still don't have enough to be able to feed that bird to bring it into play. So we will go ahead and get more food. So now we'll go ahead and take a fish. Now that there's only 1 type of food here, now we have the option to roll all the rest for a second. And good, we got the grain that we needed. Then we will go down the line. We get to take another grub. Come down the line again. We get to hunt again. This one is 36 centimeters. Another successful hunt. So you're doing pretty well over here. All right, so now I'm going to get some food. No, I'm going to get some eggs. Go there. We're going to get a couple eggs. We're going to go ahead and spread the wealth around. Put 1 on each. Then we'll go down the line. When activated, all players lay an egg on any 1 bird with that type of nest. You may lay 1 on an additional bird. So I just get to lay an extra egg on there. If I had another nest like that, I would get an additional 1. You do not have that nest yet, so you don't get to take advantage of that. And then I'll move over there. The other thing, besides these, eggs are also worth 1 point each at the end of the game. So that both gives me some flexibility going forward to build into some of the other, attract birds in some of the habitats a little bit more densely, and it's also worth points at the end of the game. Alright, so then we'll come over here. Now we are ready to bring in another bird. So we're going to go ahead and pay 1 grub and 2 wheat and an egg to put the California quail into play. Now when this one's activated, we get to lay an egg on that bird. Has to be that bird, but that bird can hold 6 eggs. So now this action is just that much better. So very, very nice. And over here, I'm already worried. The only problem over here that this player has is they're going to have trouble getting more birds. So now I need to get a bird out into my forest. But I don't want a bird that's so dang expensive. You know, I don't want to have to take multiple actions to do that. So I'm going to actually go here and get more bird cards. So I'll get 1 for that itself, and I'll go ahead and draw for that. I also have the choice of discarding an egg, which I will do to draw another one. Then I will come right here, which lets me draw 2 cards, so I'll draw 2 more. And then from my entire hand, I get to choose 1 to discard. Wow. Okay. Well, I definitely want to keep that one. This one is just too expensive. Okay. And there we go. Now over here, this player needs to get some birds. And we want birds that are worth less than 4 points, preferably. If we get this one, gives us even more eggs. But we don't have the food exactly that we need for that bird. So we're just going to go ahead and draw 1 at random. So. Alright, now over here, we are going to play a bird card. And I'm going to play this one right here, which can be fed with any kind of food. So I'll pay the fish. This one says, when activated, each player gains an additional die, and I choose which one of us takes it first. So I can kind of force you to take the last one so that I get to re-roll or whatever. And also this bird could go anywhere. For right now, I just decided to put it there because I want all my actions to be a little bit stronger. Then we'll come over here to you. You're going to go ahead and get some food so that you can put that bird into play. And you're going to take both of these berries because you're going to need those. Then we'll come down the line. You get to lay an egg on this bird. You get to take a grub. And you get to, oh, that does not go on there. Then you get to hunt again. Another successful hunt with a 36 centimeter wingspan. Then we're going to come over here. Now we need food. You're not having any trouble with food, so I don't really feel bad giving you more food. So I get to take 1 food of my choice. Looking at what I need. I will take the fish. Then I come here. I'm going to choose to take my food of choice first. I will take... Wow, there's a lot of grubs out there. I'm going to take... I will take this and take the wheat. Okay, then this player... Oh, now we are at the end of the first round. Okay, so we're... Oh, and this player then chooses one of the food that they want, and they choose the berry. Okay, end of the first round. So now what we're going to do is all 3 of these cards are going to go away. And 3 new ones will come out. Then we will collect all of these off of the player's boards. We're going to rotate first player. then each of us is going to take one of these markers and we are going to score or mark these. So I just have 1, you have 3 birds in the forest. If it was the other side, you would have just gotten first and I would have gotten second, and the values would be different. But instead, the values here are based off of what you actually have. So at the end of the game, you will get 3 points and I will get 1 point. Then we would go through, and now this next round we have fewer tokens to go forward. You'll play like that through 4 rounds. At the end of 4 rounds, you will total up your points from here. You'll total up your points from any bonuses that you have. You will total up points on the birds that you have placed. You will total up points for each egg, each token. There's some cards that will let you put a food token on top of that card. Each of those tokens is worth a point. Each of the cards that's tucked under here is worth a point. And let's see, am I missing anything? Birds, bonus cards, end of round goals, eggs, food on card, tucked cards, and then you will total up the points, and whoever has the most points will be the winner. So far, my winning scores have usually been in the 80s, but I also have not played the game that much, so it could definitely go a lot higher. But I think that gives you a pretty good feel. Alright, that should give you a pretty good idea of how to set up and play through Wingspan by Elizabeth Hargrave and published by Stonemaier Games. If you want to know more about Wingspan, take a look in the description section. You can find a link there to my unboxing and overall review of Wingspan. And you can also find a link there to macronovagames.com where you can buy Wingspan and a whole bunch of other great games. Until next time, I want to thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comment section below if I missed anything or if you just have any comments for me in general. And please like, share, and subscribe if you like what you see. And as always, have a wonderful day.